Welcome to the CPM Customer Success Podcast, where we help Office of Finance leaders enable an exact solution to enhance their corporate performance without spending countless nights and weekends in the office. Hi, I'm your host, Andy Smetana with Nova Advisory. Nova Advisory is a 100% OneStream professional services diamond implementation partner. We help OneStream customers and prospective OneStream customers get the most out of their OneStream investments. And for CPM Customer Success listeners, we now have a weekly newsletter to keep you informed on the latest CPM Customer Success news. By subscribing today, we'll keep you informed on episode releases, including customer success stories, OneStream interviews, and capabilities to keep you up to date about OneStream's unified platform for finance. You can check that out now at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success Podcast newsletter today. Today we're going to talk about how finance leaders can scale the impact their finance operations delivers in terms of results. Results like improved analysis of new business opportunities, whether that's growth or investments or new markets, and doing this without adding headcount and without increasing your overheads. This is about adding capability. And we're talking about smarter growth, scaling your finance and accounting capabilities without hiring an army or becoming overly dependent on IT. So how can you scale your finance operations without increasing your overhead? Well, OneStream provides a solution via its unified, extensible platform. It's a modern finance foundation that grows with you and helps your team stay lean, focused, and in control. So let's jump in. Let's start with a simple observation. As companies grow, finance doesn't always get to grow with them. Sure, revenues may increase, your product lines will expand, M&A activity may kick into high gear, but your headcount, well, that's often flat. And your systems, well, they're usually lagging behind as well. And so here's the reality. Scaling complexity often outpaces your ability to manage it. Suddenly you're dealing with more data than ever, more reporting requirements, more scrutiny from your auditors and regulators, and you have higher expectations to deliver from the business. Now, all that while you're still trying to close the books on time. You're trying to manage your rolling forecasts, and you're providing insights to your leadership. So that's the trap many finance leaders fall into. They're asked to do more without the tools to keep up. And as their business grows, so does their stress levels. So this is where we see the infamous scaling gap. You're trying to run an enterprise operation with tools built for small business accounting. You've got disconnected spreadsheets, maybe you've got rigid legacy systems, you've got manual data wrangling. And when you're stuck in the trenches, it becomes nearly impossible to step back and drive your strategy. The irony of all this, well, finance ends up spending more time just reporting on the past instead of helping shape the future. And that's not sustainable. And frankly, it's not how modern finance should operate. So let's talk about what this looks day to day, because these aren't just high-level strategy issues. These are real pain points we see in the field. First pain point we see often at Nova Advisory is data overload. You've got data pouring in from various ERP systems, built up from acquisitions. You've got sales systems, CRMs, you've got HR, HCM systems, and you've got various Excel trackers. It's messy and it's hard to trust. Pain point number 2, IT bottlenecks. Finance needs to run a new scenario, but you can't update the model without IT. You want to change your report layout? Well, file a ticket and wait. Pain point number 3, shadow systems. Because the tools don't scale, teams build their own offline models. And that creates silos. You've got version control issues and risks. Fourth pain point we often see are manual reconciliations. Still matching transactions line by line? Well, that's hours wasting on something OneStream can automate for you, and it's error prone. Pain point 5, we see limited visibility. You can't make agile decisions if you don't have real-time visibility into your performance metrics. That might be okay in a stable environment, but we're not in that world anymore. Finance needs to move fast, and that means you need a platform that doesn't slow you down. Now, OneStream, it's built for scale. It's not just another CPM tool. It's a unified, extensible platform built specifically for the complexities of modern finance. Everything lives in one place. Your planning, your close process, your financial consolidations, your financial management reporting, your analytics, your workflows, your variance analysis, your AI-driven modeling, you name it. Instead of stitching together 5 tools, you have a single solution that actually evolves with your business. So here are some highlights. OneStream's extensible dimensionality. Every entity within your organization can plan and report in a way that makes sense for them. They can still roll up into a corporate structure that gives you financial integrity you need to manage your business. Self-service for finance. There's no more waiting around on IT. You can build your own reports, dashboards, and workflows. Third up, task manager. Keep your team on track with process checklists, notifications, and clear accountability, all within the OneStream platform. Automation. Transaction matching and account reconciliations are all native within the OneStream platform. So let the system do the heavy working for you. Sensible AI forecasting and predictive analytics in OneStream enable better forecasts backed by real-time operational and financial analysis. All this means more control for finance and less strain on IT. So let's talk about a CPM customer success story of this week. This is a $6 billion global chemical business. They produce essential chemistry that goes into things like refrigeration, semiconductors, and even smart devices. They have operations in over 120 countries. Their product portfolio is large. Their structure is complex. And like many global enterprises, they're dealing with multiple legacy systems, fragmented financial data, delayed reporting, poor visibility, and high reliance on IT. Their finance team was buried in manual work, closed processes that were inefficient, forecasting lacked agility. And when their leadership asked for real-time insights, well, it was a scramble. Their finance team and their leadership knew they needed to change, but not just to another tool. They needed transformation. So they turned to OneStream, and their goals were clear with what they wanted to accomplish. Simplify and consolidate their financial processes. Standardize across their business units. Eliminate redundant tools. Empower finance with real-time data. And improve their agility in forecasting. And OneStream delivered for them. They implemented OneStream as a single unified platform across their global footprint. They consolidated all their key processes into the platform. Their financial close, their reporting, their forecasting and analysis. They leveraged OneStream's extensible dimensionality to maintain global standards while giving their local entities the flexibility they needed to run their business. With Task Manager, they gained better control over complex close processes with visibility and accountability across their stakeholders. They also deployed transaction matching and automated the reconciliations processes. That saved them massive amounts of time during their close. But most importantly, they gave control back to the finance teams. There's no more submitting tickets to IT just to run a report or tweak a forecast. Finance could self-serve. They could build their own dashboards. They could drill into variances, and they could respond to business needs in real time. The results they achieved, they achieved the faster close cycles. They've got greater finance and forecast accuracy. They've got less manual effort, lower reliance on their IT departments, and real-time performance insights. This global leader went from a reactive, fragmented finance operation to a modern, streamlined, and agile finance function. And they did it without growing headcount. And that's the power of scaling with the right platform, scaling with confidence. Now let's zoom out. Scaling isn't just about getting bigger, it's about getting smarter. When you try to scale finance with spreadsheets and disconnected tools, you end up scaling problems. You've got more manual work, more delays, more stress. But when you scale with OneStream, you scale performance, you scale transparency, and trust in the numbers. You get the one version of truth you've been looking for. You've got real-time financial signals, granular forecasting, a flexible structure that grows with you, and a finance team that's empowered, not overworked. And that's the real win, scaling without stress. So here are some closing thoughts. If your team's struggling to keep up with growth, you're dependent on IT for every change, or you're drowning in spreadsheets, it might be time to look at OneStream. And at Nova Advisory, we've helped companies like this reimagine their finance operations with scalable, unified solutions. So you don't have to hire more people or spend another year stitching together tools just to keep your lights on. There's a better way. So reach out to connect and learn how we can help you scale without increasing your overhead. Thanks again for joining today's episode of CPM Customer Success. And a reminder, check out the CPM Customer Success weekly email newsletter to stay informed of the latest CPM Customer Success episodes and OneStream news. You can check that out at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and subscribe to the CPM Customer Success newsletter today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week for another episode of CPM Customer Success.